Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. Today we will go all the way back to the first season. Believe it or not, this scary tale has become quite controversial during the past calendar year. Today's episode is titled, One Flew Over the Loud House. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. The episode begins with Lincoln waking up late one Saturday morning and notices the hallway appears to be deserted and far too quiet. He encounters Lola, Lana, Lori, and Lynn all looking extremely sick. He gets yanked into Lisa's room and is told several members of the family came down with the flu, which explains their zombie-like behavior. Lincoln decides he and his remaining sisters should take shelter at Clyde's house until the flu passes, although Lenny thinks they should stay and take care of the family. They arm themselves with water guns loaded with chicken soup and begin their daring escape. However, one by one, Lincoln's sisters fall victim to the flu with many near calls along the way, eventually trapping the heroes in the kitchen. By now, the team comes down to just Lincoln and Lenny, the latter of whom decides to stay behind to tend to the others while her brother attempts to get out through the doggy door. But just as Lenny is about to get infected, Lincoln jumps in front of her and takes the hit. Lenny appears to be the sole survivor until she gets infected too. In the end, Clyde comes over to take care of the Loud family, and they all chow down on some Santa Fe egg rolls. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. As of 2020, and at the time of this recording, this episode has been removed from rotation on Nickelodeon, at least here in the United States. The removal was a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The episode features characters spreading the flu very easily, everyone looking very sickly, among other themes that mirror the pandemic. While I don't agree with Nickelodeon banning the episode that airs along with it, The Price of Admission, I can see why they felt it was necessary to pull this episode for the time being. Some may agree or disagree, but it wouldn't be appropriate to show this episode during such a troubling time. However, it's still available for online streaming and home video release, so it's not gone forever. But now, on to the actual review. One Flew, the title being a parody of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, is set up the way Lincoln described the conflict.
A zombie apocalypse.
They take the kid-friendly approach to how they would handle themselves if this were an episode of The Walking Dead or any movie involving zombies. Replace the bullets with soup, change the zombification from biting to sneezing, throw in the life-threatening background music, and you get a decent homage to an overdone but still a very much heart-stopping thriller. The biggest positive of the episode would be Lenny. Despite knowing the risks of getting sick, she was willing to try and help her family get better by offering them tissues and cough drops, which her brother greatly respected at the end of the episode. Props to Lincoln for taking the hit to save Lenny before, well, you know. Of course, this episode isn't without its faults, so now we come to my critiques. In the beginning, Lori was the first one to get infected with the flu, although we don't know where she got it from, or from who. If you zoom in on the thermometer, it looks like it reads 98.6, which was the same temperature Lincoln had when Lenny was checking him to see if he was sick. If Lincoln and Lori both had the same temperature, how did Lincoln feel fine, but Lori had a fever? Aren't fevers supposed to be at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Sort of how it doesn't make sense how the hallway is a complete mess when Lincoln first wakes up, and then suddenly it's spotless when he's trying to get out of the house. I guess zombies like to clean when no one's looking. The biggest head scratchers came from trying to figure out how some members of the family got infected without being in contact with anyone else. We see a film montage of how some of them had the virus passed along, but how did Luann suddenly become infected if she was in Lisa's room with the others? By the same token, how did Geo the hamster get sick if he was inside his hamster ball? Maybe he got infected when the ball was open? It's never explained how the pets caught the flu, and even more unexplainable is how Lily came down with it. Unless Rita had taken Lily out of her and Lisa's bedroom and accidentally infected both her and Lynn Sr. after coming in contact with Lori, Lily should not have been infected at all, let alone have been able to make her way back to her bedroom. Then again, they live in a universe where a snot bubble can go flying through an upstairs window and then fly back in through a downstairs window and not pop at any time in between. The same universe where Lucy can be healthy or sick and no one's going to know the difference. Now that's scary. Overall, this episode was good for what it was. For a TV Y7 rated zombie fighting story, it did a great job of trying to recreate that life or death feeling for the characters. It does have unanswered questions and plot holes, but the story would have ended pretty much the same way. Hey, think about it like this. A family who gets sick together, stick together. Because, you don't want to infect others. I don't know. With that said, I give One Flew an 8.9 out of 10. Well, folks, that concludes my review of One Flew Over the Loud House. It may be banned from television for the time being, but will it come back once the pandemic is over? We'll just have to wait and see. So what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.